Crawford, good afternoon to everyone watching at home. And Betsy, a very good Wednesday afternoon to you.
Thanks, you too. Had a big day today. You'll be seeing more about that in the coming days.
Yeah, that's a tease.
Yeah, Friday and Monday right now, the big days for that. But in the meantime, we have a lot to get to because first at 5, we are starting with the rise in home values that has left some residents really upset. The latest tax property assessments are out, but officials say there is a way to challenge those numbers if you have some sticker shock when that came in. Manny Abraham joins us now on how you can file a complaint. Hi there, Manny. I know a lot of people are looking for this information.
Yeah, Betsy, the county says they're getting a lot of calls each and every day, and they expect a lot more as residents file those complaints. We've been hearing it from residents voicing their concerns over Cuyahoga County's triennial assessment, which happens to land during a hot housing market impacted by the pandemic. But county officials say don't panic. There's an opportunity to dispute the latest home appraisals. If you don't agree with the new value, you can file a complaint with evidence to support your claim.
People frequently submit photographs and they'll say, well, my house would be worth this if everything was well maintained, but I need a new roof. And here's a picture of my roof with shingles that have blown off.
And there's other evidence you can submit, like appraisals and documents related to recent sales. The complaints can be filed online or in person between January 1st and March 31st. Other counties have similar ways to file complaints or appeals. There's more information on how to file those complaints, what evidence can be submitted, and what residents can expect when they get their hearing officially scheduled. We have those links up on our website at wkyc.com. Betsy?
Yeah, the bottom line is don't just go in there and say it's overpriced. This is what I think. You have to have actual evidence to support that. There is a procedure to go through. All
Absolutely.
right, thanks so much for the info, Manny.
First off, on your feet at 5, 42 million Americans have student loan debt, and oftentimes it makes getting ahead very difficult. But today, the Department of Education announced a series of changes to help wipe out debt of public service employees. Sarah Shookman explains the relief and what might be coming for all students.
It's news public servants are rejoicing over.
It speeds up, I think, the forgiveness clock for people to where people could actually get forgiveness today that maybe thought they had years to go.
The Department of Education is making some pandemic changes to its Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, or PSLF. It's meant to forgive federal student debt after 10 years of monthly payments if you work full-time in a public job, like teachers, police officers, members of the military, and workers at nonprofit organizations like a hospital. The payoff can be incredible, but so far it's at a 98% rejection rate.
It's really more of an art than it is a science sometimes on paying down the student loans.
Jonathan Clark, an independent financial advisor in Westlake, works through loan issues with his clients and saw it play out with his own wife, a nurse.
And when we applied, she got denied because of the type of loan she had didn't necessarily qualify despite having 15 years in the business or in the nursing field.
And historically, there's been a lot of confusion about those. So a lot of folks have missed out on qualifying payments going towards this forgiveness program.
Now borrowers have a significant but temporary opportunity to right some of those mistakes.
This is going to expire October 31st, 2022. So we have a whole year to get this ironed out.
If you work or have ever worked in public service and have federal loans, you can confirm your own status on studentaid.gov. There are 2 necessary steps. Consolidation is one.
And I don't mean refinance or take it to a private company. You can consolidate within studentaid.gov for free.
An employment certification form is another. Today's changes are said to help 550,000 some workers. For everyone else still looking at student debt, President Biden and other Democrats are debating more.
There's lots of ideas being thrown around. So if you want to hold on for the potential, guard your heart, because I'm talking about potential here, keep the loans federal for now.
Yeah, we'd expect any future loan
Cancellation programs to cover other federal loans, not private ones. And President Biden campaigned on the idea of a $10,000 loan forgiveness for all. And as recently as 2 weeks ago, Senate Democrats were calling for $50,000 and up. Now, we know the president has said that Congress must act to cancel those loans. He's not going to do it in an executive order.
Exactly. All right. So this gets a lot of folks excited because just the notion that they might have some debt forgiven is a pretty exciting thing.
Sure.
What are some tips? So how can we make this easier for folks trying to do this?
Well, studentaid.gov is actually a great resource. So definitely check that out and make sure you understand what loans you have and what they look like. And you have to take initiative here, unfortunately. Your loan servicer can help you kind of navigate this by phone, make sure you're enrolled in some eligible payment plans and consolidate to the right options. But you will not get help if you don't ask. So it's one of those things where you really got to put the manpower in to get it to work out. And while it's often very individual, of course, a lot of people told me that they have found success on Facebook, that there are several Facebook groups where you can kind of crowdsource the topic, see what other people have been up against in a similar position. So there are some specific PSLF groups that we're going to link to on WKYC.com. And you may also find that they're organized by specific professions as well. So like teachers or physicians, veterinarians, librarians, all of that kind of stuff you can find specific groups for.
It is definitely complex.
It is. It is. It's a lot to explain just in a short story there. But yeah, I think the message I want you to hear is you can probably do something about it, but you've got to do it by yourself.
Yeah, don't be discouraged by the 98% rejection rate.
Right.
Just keep going.
Yeah, keep trying.
Sarah, thanks. We appreciate it. Well, another day and another explanation from Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer concerning the video that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Meyer was caught in this video with a woman that was not his wife last weekend at a Columbus restaurant. He said Monday he has apologized to his team and to his family. Today, he gave reporters his reasoning for not flying back to Florida with his team after the loss to Cincinnati, instead choosing to stay behind in Ohio.
But I thought at the time this is a chance for everybody to clear their head, including myself, to with my family located, where we were, to go spend a day or two with them and then get back, because I knew I wanted them to get out of Dodge too and clear their heads.
Now, Jags owner Shad Khan released this statement yesterday. It says, in part, he has spoken with Urban. He believes that he is remorseful. He also believes that he will be able to reinstill the confidence and respect of his team in time. So Urban and the Jags are 0-4. They are at home Sunday against the 2-2 Tennessee Titans. This is an interesting matchup because the Titans are also coached by a former Buckeye, Mike Vrabel, who played at Ohio State, but before his trip to the NFL as a head coach, was an assistant head coach at Ohio State under Urban Meyer.
They're all connected.
Yes, they are. What helps solve all of this? Winning. It'll make a lot of people in Jacksonville think about something else.
I would say that is probably a pretty solid plan to go in with, and we'll see how it goes after that.
We most certainly will.
Certainly. All right. Well, let's turn now. If you are looking at something else other than your television, just look up real quick. Take a look at this. We can't make this up if you haven't seen this. So you're on the highway zipping along, rain, all that stuff. Miss the exit, right? You go to the next exit. Not this person. Oh, no. We're going to back up on the interstate. Not just on the berm. No, we're actually going to go on the interstate. No hazards, no nothing. We're going to back it up to get off on the exit ramp. That is stupidity 101 right there. We're not the only ones who think this. ODOT posted this video on their Facebook page. That is a driver on I-270 in Columbus, passing an exit, pulling off, just as I said, and then backing up. That driver, obviously a huge hazard on the road, but get this, the driver is obviously, they probably aren't going to find this person, go and track them down or whatever. But the bottom line is, there's probably another exit less than a mile up the road.
There's a lot of them on 270.
You could do a little U-ey and get back, and then you don't have to worry about, your life and, gosh, other people's lives, dare I say, you think of others.
Yeah, what the amazing thing about that video is we actually sped it up for time's sake. Yeah. But it actually took much longer for that person to put it in reverse.
Back in the road. I mean, and
in the lane.
In the lane. That's like, it's just, piles and layers of stupidity, one on top of the other on there.
I've seen people do that too. I've been tempted to do it, or at least wish that I could back up, but I never have, because I mean, it just defies all logic that you will do that. Like ODOT says on their website, please don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be that person. Don't cut through the berms. Don't cut through the medians. Don't do any of that stupid stuff, because it's the traffic is coming so much faster than you realize.
Yep.
So much faster.
And we all know that one of the hazards today of driving is that people are preoccupied by devices in their hands. And if you happen to be in that lane and you're clipping along and you happen to look down for 1 second at your phone, which I constantly see people doing all around me on the highways, if you happen to be that person, before you know it, you're going to be rear-ending that car, and it's going to be a bad ending for everybody. Just be careful.
Be smart.
That's all.
Use common sense. That's what your mother tells you, and me. Cleveland has a new tool when it comes to raising literacy rates. It's called Literacy in the Hood, and a national star is helping out. We have that story coming up next.
And Dave Chappelle is facing backlash from the LGBTQ community, and this is not the first time that he has drawn their ire. Kiera Cotton coming up with our pop break, and she's got details on that story and all the top stories from the entertainment world.
And details and top stories and good stuff coming our way via Matt. What's happening in the forecast?
Yeah, I was thinking about pre-recording this on Monday and just re-airing the same forecast every day this week, but, you know, changing up the words a little bit because we're dealing with more of the same. Mix of sun and clouds. We do have some stray downpours out there. We're in the 70s. The theme has been the humidity over the last couple days. That is going to stick around. We've also got more rain, even some rumbles returning. We'll take you through the forecast after this.
Hold on, baby. We're switching it out. Got you, baby. Here, I'll do it. Oh, these people. It's all right. It's all right. Just take it. This thing, I'm still adjusting. Okay, so we're good. Thank you. She said she can hear me. Yep. Okay, we're all good, baby. Let me just clip it on to me. You're very...
On this week's Education Station, we shine a spotlight on an already bright light in the community. Over the past 4 years, Krishanda Matthews has donated more than 100,000 free books to kids and adults throughout Cleveland. And now she has a new four-wheeled ally in her fight to increase literacy, courtesy of one of NBC's biggest stars. One of our stars, January Keaton, was there for the big reveal.
Back in 2017, Krishandra Matthews, or Chris, couldn't find an adequate reading program for her then 3-year-old son, Derek.
It's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, in the inner city that I can take him to that'll help me help him become a stronger reader.
So she founded the nonprofit Literacy in the Hood. Hood standing for Helping Out Our Disenfranchised. She gained national attention, too, even appeared on Kelly Clarkson. And the host, true to her word.
So they're giving Literacy in the Hood $5,000.
Now that Kelly Clarkson has blessed us with our van.
A nice financial gift from Clarkson helped Chris buy this bookmobile from Nick Meyer Lincoln in Mayfield Heights. Free warranty included.
With her help, with TV3 help, with Nick Meyer help, today we were able to reveal the van.
First order of bookmobile business, bring books from the Cleveland Kids Book Bank to kids at Dickens Elementary. 3 News is following Dickens children all school year as they try to pass the state reading test. And this will certainly help.
I love to read. I can deliver way more books.
Chris stores thousands of books in her humidity-controlled basement, which is running out of room.
It has outgrown me. I just live with books.
And with a recent $10,000 grant to buy more books, she desperately needs more space.
It'll allow me to become a book pantry. Parents, children, and caregivers can come to learn how to read with their children. After school, children can get homework help, and right now it's all crammed right here. No other choice.
Painstaking work, tireless efforts, 100,000 plus donated books, and a new bookmobile to get them where they're needed most. Literacy in the Hood, bridging the urban achievement gap, one student, one book at a time. Let me tell you, she was one of the best interviews I've ever had. She's so animated and passionate about this cause. Now, that new van comes just weeks before 3 News begins its Dickens Reads after-school literacy partnership with that school. It'll start at the end of this month. Now, if you want to help Krishandra out with a donated or a low-cost space so she can store her books, go to our website, WKYC.com.
I cannot wait to see how these kids at Dickens do. There's so much support coming their way.
Yes.
They are eager learners, and I know they're just going to be amazing readers.
We are all so excited, and of course, I can't wait to keep you guys updated on what's going on with those kids.
We are looking forward to hearing more. Thanks so much, January. Oh, books, books, books. Lots of reading, lots of good days to stay inside and do some reading coming. But not today.
Yeah,
nice out there.
I would rather have beautiful days to read outside. That's my goal, Matt. I don't know if you have that in your forecast. And your word, by the way, is donate, because we encourage you. If you've got a stack of books, and I know many of you do, and you're not using them, please donate them.
Yeah,
put them to use.
Absolutely. Stories like that just touch my heart. I'm sure yours too, Jay,
Absolutely.
in terms of reading and just kids' development. It's just wonderful to see communities come together. So hopefully we can do that for them. I'll tell you what, weather-wise, not too bad today, right? We got the fog layer out of here. It's amazing the difference in sun angle this time of year versus, middle of June. If we have fog in June, it's out of here by 7 a.m., right? The sun burns it up. But that lower sun angle, it took about until 12:30 today to burn some of that fog off across the Cleveland area. You can see that layer that we had pushing out towards the west, still dealing with the low clouds out towards Sandusky, but we have had some decent sunshine. Even a couple pops on radar as expected. You can see down towards New Philly. Boy, this really kind of didn't materialize. This was a heavier downpour down towards the Mid-Valley area, but you can see as it heads off towards the north, just a smattering of showers. Most of us will stay dry this evening. Bigger picture, down to the south, you can see pretty decent rain heading through Columbus now. We'll watch this wave likely produce some downpours. Mansfield, down in Millersburg, out towards the west, Huron County, perhaps later on this evening. Here's our low pressure, now heading north and west, kind of a weird direction, right? Getting pulled up with the jet stream. Slug of moisture coming northward with us, though. The Gulf of Mexico basically has donating some of this tropical air as it moves into northeast Ohio. As it wants to donate. I said donating. That's not donate anyway. I almost said donut because I'm still hungry, but you can see off towards the north, all the humidity moving in here. So we're stuck with the mugginess. Dew points generally in the mid 60s. That is very summer-like. Temperatures, look at that, a lot of 80s showing up. up in 70s elsewhere. So tonight, I think we have some fog in spots. We've got enough wind to mix it up, though. But again, it's going to be a muggy night. We're back into the 60s. Clouds will come and go. Again, rain chances should be south and west of the Cleveland area, like down in here tonight. Your National Design Mart hour by hour forecast. We go through today, tomorrow. Those clouds will continue to thicken up. We'll likely have some rain showers on radar. Some of these could have some heavier downpours, but they will be scattered. Not everyone's going to see rain tomorrow. Temperatures still well into the 70s tomorrow. We remain muggy. And then Friday, we get that final push here of some of the rain. Could have some rumbles with that as well as we go throughout the day. So not a washout any day, but you're going to have to keep that umbrella handy. We keep saying that. Humidity remains thick all the way through next week. Just beyond this is where we're going to finally start to see some changes, but it gets really wild out west as we get into next week. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecasts, a smattering of 70s over the next couple days before we bump up into the 80s to start next week. It's going to be a warm tropical atmosphere. In fact, overnight lows, Betsy, next couple nights are more reminiscent of July in the mid 60s. So certainly weird territory, right, for October?
Absolutely. And of course, not windy, which is good as the leaves turn. We get to enjoy them for a little bit.
That's right. Acorns are falling like crazy, though, wind or not.
Yeah.
It's an acorn year.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt. We'll check in with you again in about a half hour or so. Next for us here on What's New, because we currently don't have enough podcasts, Lindsay Lohan is entering the arena. We have details ahead of Pop Break on that.
And our Worth the Watch involves 3 kids and a leaf blower. One mom tells us how each of her kids use it in a completely different way. That's next when What's New comes right back.
Hey girl, how are you? I do. How's it going? Pretty good. Hi.
All right, there's her theme song, Kiara Cotton. She brings us our daily dose of entertainment news every day. We call it Pop Break.
Yes, and she joins us now with all the latest.
Yeah, well, guys, Dave Chappelle is yet again on the receiving end of backlash from the LGBTQ plus community. The longtime comedian is being criticized for jokes made during his most recent stand-up, The Closer, that premiered on Netflix yesterday. The jokes take aim specifically at the trans community and draw a stark line between black and queer communities, insinuating that there's no room for overlap. Members of the LGBTQ+ community took to Twitter to express their disappointment, causing the Ohio native's name and the special to trend for several hours. Neither Dave Chappelle or Netflix have responded to the criticism at this time. And Lindsay Lohan is stepping into the world of podcasting. The actress revealed the news on Instagram this morning, saying that she inked a deal with the media company Studio 71. In the post, she wrote, "I'm looking forward to connecting more with my fans and having intimate conversations with thought leaders and friends across all industries." According to reports, the podcast is expected to premiere late this year or early 2022. And Netflix's most popular show at the moment is taking things up a notch. Squid Game, a Korean survival thriller with boatloads of twists and turns, now has official merch. The products that include customizable t-shirts and hoodies are now available on the Netflix store, starting at $35. The website reads, "Accept the invitation at your own risk. If you're like us and love Squid Game, you're in the right place." And the stakes aren't as high. According to Netflix, Squid Game has ranked as the #1 TV show in countries around the world since its premiere on September 17th. And Sex and the City fans, if you're keeping track, we now know that the reboot, And Just Like That, will premiere on HBO Max sometime in December. So it's coming.
All right.
It's on the way.
At least we have a date. For all of the people that, that's close enough. For all the people that have been waiting for years for this,
for sure.
They can circle a big month on their calendar and know sometime in December they'll get to see it.
You should stock up on wine and cosmopolitan ingredients just in case.
For sure. I want to go back really quickly to Squid Game. Have you guys seen it?
I have not. Didn't even hear of it.
I've heard buzz on it, but I don't know what it is. I just keep hearing people talk about it. What is it?
It's a bit graphic, but I enjoyed it. I binged it in 2 days. So if you're into that kind of thing,
Wow.
it's interesting.
Okay, 2-day binge.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks, Key.
Might be a little bit more 2 days for me, but I'll get there, right? Someday. All right, parents, today's worth a watch is for you, especially if you have 3 kids. This TikToker depicts all the personalities of kids. First child, middle child, and yes, the baby of the family. Firstborn, obviously the responsible one. This is the youngest child. So it's basically, so there's the oldest.
Yeah.
Very proper, trimming things, blowing it. There's the middle child, trying to be a goofy.
That's me, by the way.
No.
Oh, I'm told that Betsy's mic is off. So what you haven't been hearing is that this video depicts how the 3 kids use this leaf blower differently. Middle one, he's the goofball. That would be me and my family. So he's obviously using it to make faces. Young child, he's just cleaning up his mess. He doesn't want the carrots on the plate, so he just blows them right off with the leaf blower. And the firstborn, he's the responsible one. He's actually using it for what it was intended to be used for. So there you have it.
The middle child.
Yeah. Have I asked you this? Are you middle?
Baby.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby. There's Debbie the good.
Debbie the good.
My sister.
Yeah.
5 years older. And then there's me, Betsy the bad.
Betsy the bad. That's fitting.
For real. Like the nurses in the hospital called me that. Actually, it was burping Betsy, but my mom made it to. I am just letting it all out today.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
a lot of
everybody.
info.
This is way more than you wanted to know. Anywho, all right, ahead in the next half hour here on What's New. Jay's latest behind the menu takes us to a popular breakfast spot in Geauga County with a very interesting name.
Yeah, it is. And great food, by the way. And we know staffing shortages are a very real thing. From restaurant staff to truck drivers, finding enough help has been very difficult. But what about snowplow drivers? Are we ready for this? We've got a report.
And an Elyria councilman has pleaded not guilty on charges of human trafficking. We'll have the details ahead in the second half hour of What's New when we come back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We begin with three things you need to know now at 5:30. This morning, Elyria Councilman Mark Jesse pleaded not guilty for his accused role in a human trafficking sting. Jesse was arraigned on a soliciting charge, and if he is found guilty, he could spend 60 days in jail. He was one of 161 people arrested this week as part of Operation Ohio Knows. Everyone arrested is accused of trying to buy sex. During the investigation, though, the state also found 10 missing kids.
A fight between students led to 4 people getting shot at a Texas high school today. Arlington police say a 15-year-old is now in critical condition. 2 others were taken to the hospital in good condition, and a pregnant adult had minor injuries and refused treatment. Police arrested the 18-year-old suspect. He's now facing counts of aggravated assault with a gun.
And today, Jaguars coach Urban Meyer explained why he didn't leave with his team after Thursday's game in Cincinnati. You might remember someone posted a video of him at a Columbus bar getting very close with a woman who's not his wife. In a press conference, the former Buckeye coach said he got permission to stay behind. He said, quote, "I thought at the time this is a chance for everybody to clear their head, including myself with my family located where we were, to go spend a day or two with them. And then get back because I knew I wanted the players to get out of Dodge too and clear their heads." Again, that is a quote from Urban Meyer. Earlier this week, he apologized to his team and his family. The Jags, by the way, 0-4. Big story unfolding there in North Florida. Meanwhile, things are just kind of steady as she goes here in Northeast Ohio. Welcome back to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. And right on cue, Big Sue fires up the text message and says, "That's not what it was. The nurses called you Bad Betsy because you woke all the other babies up."
You?
I changed it. You were not bad. You wanted company.
I can't imagine you were waking up the other kids.
I wanted attention. I was the baby. And that probably still holds true today. In some ways. It's all good.
You did call it. You said, "Mom, Big Sue is going to text in 3, 2, and her phone went off." So you know your mother.
I do.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You know your mother.
I definitely do. All right, let's move on to our top talker now. I know we don't want to hear the word just yet. Yep, that S word that I'm talking about. But ODOT is gearing up their operations to make sure they have enough plow drivers to clear the roads in the coming months. 3 News' Dominic Ferrante spoke with ODOT to see how staffing efforts are going.
Plow drivers. A job many Northeast Ohioans take for granted when the winter months start to get ugly.
We need these extra persons to come in and help us with our snow and ice removal so that we can be operating 24 hours, 7 days a week.
ODOT relies on additional seasonal staff to keep the roads clear. ODOT needs to fill roughly 500 plow driving positions. But could the labor shortage be another roadblock? ODOT says there's no need to worry.
I don't know that there's a reason to be concerned because no matter what, we are going to have drivers out there working the snow and ice routes, doing their best to keep the roads safe and passable for the traffic.
Typically, ODOT likes to have the roads cleared 2 hours after a snowstorm. But if you have fewer plow drivers, it will take longer. This year, the message to drivers is to have patience and adjust expectations.
I think what the expectation needs to be is that once that snow stops, the roads aren't going to be cleared completely as quickly as they have in the past.
Dominic Ferrante, 3 News.
Monique Zappa, our producer, just got in my ear. She's counting us down to come in. She's like, I'm moving. Come on.
I'm not ready for that.
I got to tell you, there is nothing more exciting to a meteorologist in Northeast Ohio than a big winter storm.
Listen, I know. I've lived through
Lake effect is very tricky. Like, that's very humbling to try and forecast that. But the big winter storms, when we get snow, ice, rain, those are awesome to try and forecast and nail down. And when they hit hard, and you can't help but respect it.
Well, I'm glad someone's happy when it's happening because I'm not, neither is Mo.
Yeah.
I hope that, look, we've seen shortages in everything, you know, and there's talk earlier this month that when the bus driver shortage hit, that maybe the National Guard would have to come up and help drive kids to school. Who knows? It might resort to that when it comes to plowing our roads because everything else has been in a shortage, so why not that too?
Well, hopefully Mother Nature will do her part and keep it easy peasy, but.
Yeah, we will find out. All right, you have probably heard people say FOMO, which of course means fear of missing out. I am so thankful, by the way, I do not have that. Thank goodness. But now there's something called financial FOMO, and we for that can thank, drum roll please.
Wow.
Social media.
No.
I know, right?
I'm stunned.
Who saw that coming? The endless posts of people boasting about their fabulous clothes and their expensive cars and exotic vacations and crazy parties have people, get this, spending money they don't have. Not to mention all the celebrities posting their expensive outfits. Of course, us mere mortals, seeing all of this, believe that we have to keep up. So that's what's going on in our society. Betsy, 7 in 10 Facebook users say that they use the platform every single day. When it comes to Instagram, that number is 6 in 10. 60% of people with Instagram accounts look at it every day. And what do they see when they go there? They see the rich and the famous posting these wonderful pictures of beautiful locations and expensive cars. And then they go out and buy them even if they can't afford them. And that's a problem.
Some people do that, or others try to knock it off and do it on the cheap. That'd be me. I mean, I like the inspiration side of it, right? You get some ideas on that and you go, oh, well, I can make this happen this way. And you try and knock it off on the cheap.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to be able to get the Louis Vuitton bag, but, you can get something that kind of looks sort of like it and do it that way.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it for that story. Next, you start, please.
What did you expect me to say?
There's nothing else to say. We're moving on.
I'm stunned. Did you hear? Can we please clip that video
we were wrapped.
and save it forever? It's good
Mo
stuff.
said we got to go.
We have to move on.
We got to go.
Next on What's New, a very big name performer from Ohio is planning a free concert here in the Buckeye State, and it's a pretty big deal. We'll have the details.
Yeah, this is exciting. Plus, there is a great story behind the name of a very popular breakfast spot. It's located in Geauga County. We're going to tell you all about that as we take you behind the menu next. But first, Matt is here, and he has our weather in a jiffy.
I wouldn't mind seeing Instagram pictures of that breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
That looks good, those eggs.
It is good.
Come on.
I've eaten it.
Another warm day across Northeast Ohio, so we're going towards another pool picture. This one, I couldn't stop laughing at this one. This kid and these ducks, I've never seen this one. They're just all over the place. He's having the time of his life. I'm sure many of you are enjoying this warm weather. How long does it last, though? We'll talk averages and we'll look ahead coming up after the break.
Yes, I can.
All right, it is 5:41 and 9 seconds right now. Not to be precise or anything, but there you go.
Pretty good.
And as far as the forecast goes, Matt, kind of murky.
Yeah, kind of murky. Betsy, October brings us everything, right? We've had all sorts of kinds of weather in October, a little bit of something for everyone. So I wanted to start with like kind of looking at how warm and how cold it can get, because this is kind of par for the course. We're not setting records with this warmth. It has been kind of prolonged, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. October 6th, this date in history, if we look at the warmest day in history on October 6th, 90 degrees. The coldest day was a 45-degree high back in the 1889 era. Low temperatures, it's been as warm as 67. It's been as cold as 34. That is a 60-degree spread from high to low. That's certainly what we can deal with this time of year. So in terms of averages, our average high today is 68 degrees. By next week, on Wednesday, it's down to 65. You notice how every week we're losing about 2 or 3 degrees on that average, and that's just the midpoint. We're rarely there, folks, and today we certainly weren't. New Philadelphia checking in at 82 degrees. Akron reached 81 today. Look at Ashtabula, 80. This was kind of a product of the fog clearing out. It lasted longest in Mansfield over towards the Cleveland area, so we didn't quite reach the 80-degree mark, but it certainly was warm down to the south. And temperatures remain mild. Wind off the lake, keeping it a little bit cooler. Lorain County out towards Sandusky in the 60s. Rest of us in the 70s and 80s. A summer-like evening out there. The dew points reflecting that as well. These are tropical levels, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Reason why? Remember that low pressure we had last week and a half or so went down to the south? Well, it's coming back at us again, and this is almost like a tropical system. We've opened up the Gulf of Mexico, all this moisture getting pulled all the way up to the Canadian border, so that tropical air mass we have is going to stick around over the next couple days. We've got rain to deal with as well. Not a lot today. You can see we've got kind of the scattered nature to it. None of this is washout material, but pretty heavy downpours moving through Columbus right now. Those will shift north this evening, likely impacting our southwestern counties later on this evening with some rain. Most of that should fade after sunset. A lot of it diurnally driven here. As we go with your National Zymark Hour by our forecast, clouds will increase again. Showers tonight. Model not picking up on that, mainly south and west of Cleveland. I think we start tomorrow dry, and by afternoon, we are scattering those showers, maybe even a rumble with the amount of instability we have throughout the afternoon. We'll also see some peaks, so pretty similar to the last couple days. Friday is really our last decent day of rain, although we will linger it on Saturday. You can see we get a little wave of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms moving through, and then the sun pops right back out on Friday as well. Big picture pattern. Look at this ridge. Takes up the whole eastern half of the country. Things get active, as I mentioned, next week. We get a big trough out west that will seesaw things and create some storm systems. And the big storm system, this is going to be a national talker next week. Boy, this is now Sunday night, system diving into the western U.S. Snowstorm for the mountains. They're going to get hit hard. Lots of wind with this. It'll head out in the plains. We'll stay on the warm side of things, but they're talking 20, 30, up to 50 inches of snow in the mountains. Union Hill Mortgage 7-day 70s with rainfall chances next couple days. We'll linger that rain into Saturday, unfortunately, but Sunday looks better. And next week we turn warm. Jay?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Right now, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, it's time to say hello to our digital anchor, Stephanie Aney. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jay. We've got new details today on the COVID-19 protocols for events that will be happening at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. They're going to vary by event set by each tour and management. So as of now, COVID-19 vaccines or negative tests won't be required for Cavaliers home games, which start back up on October 22nd. But we already know they will be required for these events. The Harry Styles concert on Monday, October 18th, Michael Bublé's show later that week on Thursday, October 21st, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Saturday, October 30th. So keep those in mind if you want to go to those. Now, the Asian film scene is really growing here in Cleveland. Here are a couple of brand new projects people can look forward to. Cleveland Taiwanese American native Ann Hu will be shooting her new film Lunchbox here this month. It's a journey through the food of her childhood about trying to forgive herself for pushing away her immigrant mother. And tomorrow, the documentary film Mixed premieres at the Cleveland's Institute of Art Cinematheque. It's presented by the Center for Asian American Media, and the links for tickets is on WKYC.com. And Ohio native and musical icon John Legend is coming home for a free, very intimate concert. He'll be kicking off the Toledo Museum of Art's concert series, pairing his music with diverse works of art from the museum's Baroque painting collection. The art and the stage will be set up in the museum's Great Gallery on Friday, October 22nd, starting at 8 p.m. Free tickets to the concert will be distributed to children and families through the museum's outreach initiatives and local partnerships. Now, this setup will be very cool, Jay and Betsy. Here's how this is going to look. John Legend in the middle, all the people around him, and then all the art moved into that space around that. So it'll be very immersive kind of setup going on there. And they're going to do lots of these.
I love it. In Sandusky, you may remember about a year and a half ago, a tornado there really damaged the iconic State Theater right downtown Columbus Avenue. I know the gentleman that's in charge of the theater and their renovation projects, and their hopes are that they can bring John Legend in when they reopen the theater for the first show. And I certainly hope that they can just at least get word to him, because he's the kind of guy, he loves Ohio, he loves the arts. He's the kind of guy that might just say, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can connect with them and get him there.
Add a little extra mortar, because he could be knocking the bricks off the building once again.
That's right.
Yeah,
okay,
he could.
So everyone needs to tweet at John Legend. That's what we need to do. We
Yes.
need to get the word out.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Sandusky State Theater.
Twitter campaign.
Yeah, that'd be great. Good
Thanks.
idea, Steph.
We'll put you in charge.
Sure.
You may remember back in February, we started a series called Reconnecting, when our Lindsay Buckingham worked with search angels to reunite folks with their long-lost loved ones. Jay and I got so into this series. Well, now we want to do it again. Are you missing anyone from your life? Have you always wondered where you came from, or longed to meet a birth parent or find a sibling? We want to help you. You can send an email to reconnection@wkyc.com. Your story could be featured on 3 News. Oh, that was so good. It was her sister.
It's going to get dusty in here again.
It's so much fun. All right, next up, breakfast food with a bit of a twist, served up by a chef with a strong culinary background. That's next when Jay goes behind the menu.
This is really good food, Bets.
How'd you get this gig?
I know. Our Show Us Something Good involves a young man, a birthday wish, and an overwhelming response. That's ahead. You don't want to miss this. It's our Show Us Something Good. All right, this week's Behind the Menu. If breakfast and brunch are your thing, and I love them, I've got a place for you. It's located in Geauga County, but don't expect to go at the crack of dawn. because they don't open until 8 o'clock. We're going behind the menu today at a place called Sleepy Rooster.
We wanted a hometown restaurant to have something near home, around people we know.
Welcome to the Sleepy Rooster, a breakfast and lunch spot located in the heart of South Russell and Geauga County. It's owned and run by husband and wife duo Craig and Sarah Fitzgerald, a pair that doesn't necessarily like being the early bird.
I always wanted the Rooster to be the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
But with us not being morning people and her kind of joking, like, yeah, the Sleepy Rooster, you know, like, you're not doing anything in the morning. And that kind of stuck. We really liked it.
Both grew up here and wanted to serve the community they both love. But Sarah took a bit of convincing to take that first leap.
After years of trying to convince her that you'll like it, it won't be too bad, you know. Restaurant's very difficult to get into, so she was all for it finally and supporting 100%, and I couldn't have done it.
We started planning October, November of 2019. We signed the lease about 2 weeks before the pandemic hit.
Luckily, our landlord was great.
He was fantastic.
Gave us most of the year.
He really worked with us. We thought we'd open June of 2020, but we kind of took our time. By January, I feel like people were kind of done with being at home, and it worked out in our benefit. We've been busy every day we've been open so far.
That is due in part to the food, most of which is locally sourced. Eggs from Harvest Bell Farm in Newberry Township, cheese from Mackenzie Creamery in Hiram, and pastry and bread from On the Rise Bakery in Cleveland.
It's a breakfast diner place, but the food seems a little more high-end than your typical diner, to me anyhow.
We're just we want it to be relatable, you know, food that people are used to, just done on a higher scale. Like, I was French trained culinary for fine dining.
And the ambiance is friendly, with a strong sense of family, keeping customers coming back for more.
Everybody gets along, and I think that's why it seems like we're all related, because we do seem like a family, and it's really nice.
It's got everything. It really does. It's got a nice atmosphere. The food is tremendous. And one of the questions that I've asked a lot of these family restaurants is, so how difficult is it for you to hold on to help? Because as we know, and they said, we have been so lucky. Our help has been the same since we launched. And they did a really thoughtful job when they were hiring people, but it does feel like a family. They'll remember your name when you come back the second time.
Wow.
And I think that's the kind of feel that you're looking for in a local diner like this.
My first reaction was, look at how much food is on those plates.
Yeah, you will not leave there hungry.
Matt, you know.
They're
that's
big
what I'm looking
portions.
at first.
And if you're a fan of avocado toast, and I know many of you are, my wife orders it wherever she goes, particularly if it's a breakfast deal. And she says that theirs is the best that she's had.
That's great.
It's really good.
So healthy food or something.
Healthy, local for sure. It's fresh.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. They're helping out all the other local places, and it works. It's community-based.
Got a good vibe.
It does. Our Show Us Something Good is another example of people coming together to help someone who needs it. We're going to leave you with a smile coming up.
Al, how are you? Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell, and I'm Lena Lai, law student.
Yeah. Good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, student loan debt.
Hello, I'm Annie Abraham here in studio talking about home appraisals.
Hey, mic check, Sarah's mic. I will be talking about important points.
Well, today's show is something good is proof that the internet isn't all bad. Meet Daniel. He has autism and wrote in one of his classes that for his birthday, he wanted to make friends and learn to drive. Well, obviously this pulled at the heartstrings of his parents, so his dad turned to Twitter for help. He posted that Daniel doesn't have any friends and he'd love people to send him birthday wishes. And boy, did they. 54,000 users commented on that post and more than 123,000 have liked it. How about that? Get this. Luke Skywalker himself responded to the tweet, I know. The caption read, "For my friend Daniel," and it was followed with the clip that read, "The force is strong with this one." From Luke Skywalker. That's pretty boss, right?
When you get a meme from the guy that's in the meme,
huge.
That's pretty big.
Other celebrities like Russell Crowe, William Shatner, Jane Lynch, and more wish Daniel a very happy birthday. So happy birthday to you, Daniel. Number 15 from all of us here at 3 News.
And he's got a lot of friends now.
He sure does.
That's pretty cool. All right, thanks so much for watching. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope you join us then.
What matters most with Russ and Lena starts right now.
Now at 6, student loan help.
It is overwhelmingly complicated, so you want to make sure you do it right.
The Department of Education announces relief for hundreds of thousands of Americans mired with debt. Who qualifies for the help and how you can get it. Also, tax trouble. Rising home prices mean rising property taxes in some Northeast